Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
And I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
It is, my friend. It's always good to be in your presence. I enjoy what we do together.
Likewise.
As we try to inform the community about positive things that are going on.
And we are blessed to do that with the help of Lee Cosselin Crowley.
And the Stuart Mortuary, who's been helping this community for years with bereavement and the Fervent Care Christian Academy.
Yeah, choose Christian schools and daycares. They are closer to Christ. Also want to encourage you to go to our YouTube channel, WHMB TV 40. You can watch this show when it has concluded, as well as other shows that you might have missed. We've disseminated some extraordinary information over the last couple of years.
Not only that, won't you inform us about the times that we're on?
Yeah, 5:30 p.m. on Sundays and 9:30 p.m. on Friday nights. What a way to end your evening.
It's a great opportunity for you to find out what's going on in the community and be a part of it and learn how to be engaging at what's going on.
Like us on Facebook.
Yes.
When you go to Facebook, please click the like button. Also, today we're joined by Aletha Powell in just a little bit. We're going to be talking about autism ministry.
Autism Ministry and the H2 Foundation. So we're going to have a great time talking about ministry because the church is moving from basic ministry to some extended type of ministry situations, and we're grateful that she's here to help us talk about it today.
Yeah, she's going to be an extraordinary guest, and we are excited about having you here with us. Please be sure to let other people know that we're on. If you're watching us on your computer, please be sure to save us and be sure to go to that YouTube channel and become a subscriber. Stick with us. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
Co-host Pastor Wayne Moore.
And we're joined by Aletha Powell of the H2 Foundation. And would I be precipitous to say you are the founder?
You are correct. I am the founder.
All right. So tell us how that came about.
Yes. So 8 years ago, I was blessed with a son, and he is on the autism spectrum. And so from that, we gained a lot of resources during that time, and so we wanted to come apart to help other families.
And that's very, very important. And it's interesting, Dr. Moore, how God works. You had a son, and your son diagnosed with autism, and you decided, because you had some struggles, feeling you didn't have any help from other people.
Absolutely.
And so how did you find the resources, one, to help your own son, and then the knowledge and the know-how to help other folks?
So yes, I just really took the time to research various books, online resources, support groups. Those were very, very helpful for me.
All right, you got something coming up. Well, actually, you all had something.
Yes, we did.
So talk about how everything went.
On Saturday, April 14th, we had a training. It was designed to help ministries either start or further develop a special needs ministry. So many times families and individuals with disabilities want to come and connect to their church, and it's just not available for them. I had someone reach out to me even on Facebook and said, someone told me I can't come to church because the church wasn't wheelchair accessible. Even something that small makes a huge impact to someone who really needs to be connected to their faith.
Yeah. How long have you all been going?
So we have been in existence for 2 years. We hosted the event. Mark II Ministries, they are the facilitators, and they do work with ministries on how to start a special needs ministry.
How is it rolling? Is it moving well?
Oh yes, it's moving well. We had a personal goal we have reached that we're almost to capacity.
You're getting excited about that.
Yes, we are almost to capacity. So it's going to go well. So.
Yeah. So you talk about, or if you would, talk about awareness. Folk that do not have children who are autistic may not be aware of the challenges. And one of your goals, as I understand it, is to make people more aware of the challenges of having an autistic child. But even if you don't have an autistic child, how can we become more aware, and how can we help people who are dealing with the challenge?
Great, thank you for asking that. The main thing is to be compassionate and show kindness. If you see a child in a family whose child may be just having some extreme behaviors, don't stare. Just don't stare. Maybe if it's allowed to say, how can I help? And then also there's also many online resources. The Autism Society of Indiana. I also do a Facebook Live every second Tuesday of the month, just informing the general public about autism.
Facebook Live.
Yeah,
Yes,
we're
we do a
familiar
Facebook
with that. Let me ask you another question. Parents.
Yes.
Parents are at a point when they have these type of situations going on in their family, they're not inclined to automatically absorb it or accept it. What are some of the things that you have available for parents
Yes.
to begin to be comfortable with what they have to deal with their children?
Yes, thank you. So yes, we do. People can reach me. We act as a first responder to families. So I've come alongside families and introduced them to the myriad of resources that are available to them. So people can contact us through our phone, through email, and we will respond and get back with them. We also have a support group that we're starting the second Saturday in May at the Glendale Library at 10 o'clock.
That's phenomenal. So you're moving throughout the city.
We are.
Yeah. Just don't keep it all on the east side.
All right.
Come west.
All right.
We need to have these type of incidents, and not incidents, but situations going on.
And Alethea, you talk about opportunities for people to get involved, and you talk about the autism ministry. How have churches been responding to you?
Churches have been responding very, very well to the training. Some people have even they're like, we're bringing our whole team. So people are really seeing and really responding to the call of God about seeking people out to serve them, to better serve.
Yeah, and for people who are watching who might want to support your organization, how would they do that?
Yes, they can support us. They can reach out to me at 317-344-9194.
Tell it again. In that camera right there,
Okay.
please.
Yes, you can reach us at 317-344-9194. And you can like us on Facebook, the H2 Foundation.
Do you have a donate button on there?
They didn't allow me to put it on there. I've been trying, but we do have a PayPal account, the H2 Foundation.
Okay.
So yes.
Yeah. Alethea, if you had all the resources that you possibly needed, what would it look like in 2 years?
Oh my goodness. Yes, we are definitely prepared to answer that question. We definitely want to connect more families and reach more families to offer them support. And then we also, it is our goal, and there's studies behind the gluten-free diet. My son had extreme behaviors. He would beat himself literally every day. My son is a lighter skinned child, and so he would just punch himself to the point where we had to have a doctor's note saying that I wasn't doing it. It was not until we went gluten-free that those behaviors changed. So it is our major goal to provide a starter kit for a gluten-free starter kit for families
Phenomenal.
who desire it.
Yeah.
Because it's not cheap to go gluten-free.
So that's part of the issue, the gluten.
Yes, the gluten in the diets.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
And that can calm it down.
Yes, sir.
It won't cure it, but it can calm it.
Yes, sir.
It can make it
There are
manageable.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited to hear that.
Yes, sir.
So what do one of these kits cost?
Oh my goodness! So we pretty much tailor it to the family. There's gluten-free macaroni and cheese because gluten is in wheat, barley, and rye.
But if you put one together, what would you say the cost would be on the average?
On the average, I would say a good packet, a good starter kit would cost about $75.
Wow.
$75.
For one kit.
Can
Yes,
we
sir.
sponsor a few of those things?
If you want to, we can do what we can do. That. Help her out a little bit, get her found. Yeah, we kick something that way.
Yeah, maybe 5 kits.
God bless you.
we
Thank
could
you
sponsor
all.
Yeah, we'll
that.
do
Thank
that for you.
all.
We'll
Yeah, if you
sponsor
could-
5 kits for you.
If you could get with Faith, and we want to challenge those of you who are watching.
And she's going to give the number again, too.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it this way. We're going to ask you who are out there to get a kit. Just get a kit. If you have a ministry in your church, ask your ministry to get a kit. She's going to give you the number and where you can do what you need to do to help these children who are autistic, who are having problems meeting economics as it relates to gluten-free products. We're going to work on that, Jim.
Yeah. So get with Faith, and she'll get it all set up so we can sponsor 5 kits. And hopefully there are those of you We talk about God answering prayer. Well,
Right.
we're the answer.
Right.
Oh,
Give the
yes.
number.
You're
right
the
here.
answer.
Yes, that number is 317-344-9194.
Come on, give it again. Give it again.
317-344-9194.
If we can get 50 people to 100 people
Yes.
to do that, give the number again.
That number is
He's moving in telethon mode now.
317-344-9194.
We have 17 seconds. Give it again. Give it again.
317-344-9194.
We're going to get 100 kits for this
Oh,
foundation.
praise
Yeah.
God.
And it'll be on your screen too. Stick with us. We'll be back
Yeah.
in a moment. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson,
I'm happy to be the co-host of this show, Pastor Wayne Moore.
and we're joined by Mr. Jarrell Ferris.
Yes, sir. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me.
Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Filmmaker.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So before we get started with your media group, JRELZ.
Yes, sir.
Media Group, before we start talking about that, how did you get into filmmaking?
Actually, it kind of happened by accident. So I was a music producer for about 7 or 8 years, and I produced a song, and that kind of turned into a music video, which spawned into a short film. And then from that short film, I just kind of went headfirst into the whole thing, and I'm 7 years later, I'm still making films.
7 years?
Yes, sir.
Save My Soul season television series?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That it right there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's my most recent work.
Okay.
So where can that be seen?
So currently it's out on YouTube now. We just re-released it. We were in a film festival in London, so we had to take it down, but we just put it back up. We originally aired it right here on WHMP TV 40.
Really?
That's phenomenal.
Yes, sir.
So you're part of the family.
Oh, yes, sir. That is correct.
Young Spielberg, happy to have you.
Why, thank you, sir.
And you guys shoot right here in Indianapolis.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So with regard to arts and entertainment, which is one of the 7 areas of societal influence
Yes, sir.
that I'm very interested in and concerned about, what's different about what you do and what some other filmmakers are doing?
Well, I think that one of the things that I like to showcase is realism in situations. For instance, my television show, it's my version of the modern day story of Job. So a lot of people, people consider, us the millennial age. They say that they don't go to church or they don't read the Bible because they don't understand it or they don't, it doesn't make sense to them. So what I did was I took a biblical story and I put it in 21st century, this day and age time period so that people could understand it. I put in realistic situations so that they could, relate and grasp towards what those situations were.
Yeah. And that's very, very important. So when it comes to bringing the Bible alive,
Yes, sir.
you have any other ideas as far as what's coming down the pike, as it will?
So I like to do what's called Bible fusions in my writing. And so basically I'll take different stories in the Bible and I'll kind of fuse principles or stories together and create my own, modern day spin out of it. That's what's coming down the pipeline. I'm definitely working on a season 2 for my television series. I'm working on some other faith-based films as well. I've already done a short film of the resurrection of Jesus. And I did that as a modern day story as well. A few years ago, I produced that for Eastern Star Church. That's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to do a feature film of that as well.
Feature film.
Yeah,
Yes,
how you like to save life, man?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing, and I think that a lot of people don't necessarily understand the fact that, you can still have fun and be saved. You can still, be a human and be saved. But, there's, even with the show, the main message I wanted to get out was that, just because we go through things, as Christians, just because we have, different things that happen to us on a day-to-day basis, we go through the same problems anybody else goes through, but we have a saving grace that we can seek after and refuge that we can seek through Christ.
How long you been saved?
My whole life, yeah. My
So you were
dad's
born that way, huh?
Yes, sir. My dad's a pastor, and they wouldn't have it any other way. So,
Who's your dad?
James Ferris Sr.
Oh, okay.
Over at,
Jerusalem Christian Center.
yeah, okay. I've
Yes,
heard of
sir.
him before.
Yeah, outstanding. So the creative writing process.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a writing team, or are you writing all of work right now?
I do have a writing team. One of the other writer who was on the show with me, her name is Kian Macklin. She was very pivotal in coming up with a lot of the different. I came up with the concept, and then just her kind of helping me grow the concept into actual reality. Yeah, she was the other person that wrote with me on the show.
Yeah. So for you, when do those creative juices start to flow? Do you have to be in a certain spot? You got a recliner, or on the spin bike, or
Anywhere.
Anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere, because I pull inspiration, from life, so different experiences or conversations that I have with people. One of my mottos is that, I want to change the life of each and every person that I meet. And that doesn't mean that you make everybody an instant millionaire overnight, or that, you put them in some huge mansion. But if we have a conversation between you and I, and we may not have the same viewpoints or the same ideologies on certain things, but to get you to see something in a different perspective, you may not even agree with it at the end of that conversation, but just for you to understand my point of view and where I'm coming from, that essentially has changed your life. So that is something that, I pull inspiration from, and I utilize that in my day-to-day life, and as far as writing as well.
Yeah. Now you all have casting calls, or?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did do a casting call. We did two. We did a local one and we did a national one. Altogether, we had a little over 2,000 people audition to be audition to be in Save My Soul. I watched every single video. And,
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. And so I feel comfortable in the fact that we couldn't have picked a better cast. God ordained and orchestrated everything specifically the way it needed to happen, with all the people and everything that they were able to
You're a
bring to
strange
the table.
millennial, though. You're strange. You're a very strange millennial.
How so?
You have a lot of structure to yourself.
Well, thank you.
You don't use the excuses of I don't understand the Bible or I don't do this. You don't use those. Most millennials use excuses to be labeled millennials so they don't have to go to churches.
Absolutely.
And so churches are tailoring their services, their ministries to draw millennials who know nothing about the support of the kingdom of God.
Absolutely.
You're different in that perspective.
Well, thank you.
And I want to compliment you on that.
I appreciate that.
Do you have sponsors in these movies?
I do have a few sponsors, not many, but we're always looking for more. But yes, sir, I do have a few. Juanita Ingram is an amazing sponsor. My family and their church, they sponsored as well, and we had other few local community sponsors as well.
Are you looking for sponsors?
Absolutely.
Yeah, tell them right there in their camera.
Hello, everybody out there at TV land.
Take number 3.
Number 3. Hello, my name is Jarrell Ferris, and I am the president and CEO of JRell's Media Group, LLC. I am a young, aspiring African-American filmmaker who is looking to take the message of Christ and film across the world.
Christian film.
Absolutely, across the world. And so if you would like to sponsor, please feel free to contact me and my company at jmgllc1@gmail.com.
Yeah. Now, Stan Lee pops up in his movies. Do you pop up do cameos in yours, or are you just all behind the scenes?
I do actually. I'm actually one of the characters. I play a preacher.
Really?
Yeah, Reverend Eugene Arthur.
Okay.
Yeah, I play a preacher in Save My Soul.
All right. So what can we
2
expect?
first names, huh?
Yes, sir.
Gotta watch him.
Yeah, that's what they say with people with 2 first names. Absolutely.
What can we expect from season 2?
So for season 2, I'll say this: season 1 was a story of failure. It was a story of loss. Essentially, as far as the story of Job is concerned. So you start to see the main character, who's the Job-like character, which is the bishop of the church. You see him lose everything, and these things don't happen to him personally. They happen to everyone around him. So him being a father, him being a husband who's now a widower, who loses his wife, and he's losing the influence that he has over his church and with his children, he has to put his faith solely in God to restore everything in which he's lost. So season 2 is going to be that restoration and redemption process.
So it does sound like realistic.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because this is such is life. So
Yeah. So with regard to casting calls, how are you all? What kind of vehicle are you using to let people know? And when will that happen, or has it already happened?
So we definitely utilize social media to our advantage, and then we also utilize a platform that a lot of actors are familiar with called Backstage.com. So that's where a majority of our casting came from, was through that platform. We are looking towards like midsummer to do some casting. We're in the writing process now for season 2. We're finishing that, just doing some final drafts, and then once we get to that point, yes, we will be doing casting.
How do you feel about being an entrepreneur?
Well, being an entrepreneur is great. You know,
A young entrepreneur.
Yeah, yes, sir. It's great. You know, it has its challenges, but, you know, everything has challenges in life. So, you know, if that is the case, you might as well go with something that's going to be rewarding as far as being able to leave behind a legacy for your children.
Yeah. Well, all the best to the
Thank
work
you.
that you do.
Yeah,
and
we're
Thank
praying
you.
for you, young man.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
The young Spielberg.
we hope to be going to the big screen.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
See one of your movies soon.
Yes, sir.
Now, when you get there, don't forget about us. We might
Not
be a
at
little
all.
older.
Not at all.
And say, those were the guys that were on Real People, Real Voices who gave
Yes,
me an
sir.
opportunity
Absolutely.
to collect sponsors. on the
Yes,
show.
absolutely.
So thank you so much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And thank you all for joining us on today. We've got the rundown after this, so stick with us. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm your host, James Jackson.
I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I'm your executive producer, Faith McKinney.
Wonderful segments there.
Yeah.
And before we get into that, I want to thank our sponsors, Lee Cossell and Crawley.
Yes, Stuart Mortuary, who's been helping our city for many years with bereavement. We pray that you will give them consideration at time of bereavement. We have Fervent Care Christian Academy.
Yeah.
Tell us about it real quick.
Yeah, Christian, clean, caring, and convenient child care. Give them a call at 317-898-2751. Choose Christian schools and daycares. They are closer to Christ. Our last guest, very excited about, last two guests actually, Aletha with the autism.
H2 Foundation.
Yeah, and we're talking about the gluten-free kits.
Yeah. We're asking for 50 to 100
Yeah.
donors to buy kits for these families here in Indianapolis.
On our show, we're sponsoring 5 of those.
The
Oh,
show,
wow.
Real People, Real Voices. We're going to
Please,
do 5.
please be
Amazing.
sure we take care of
I
that.
absolutely
Did you
will.
get the information from her?
Oh, sure, I will.
Okay,
Absolutely.
please. Don't let her leave. We want to do that.
Got it under control.
And of course, the gentleman who's here about the movie making. And it's good to see young people
Yeah.
who are into making films that are not filled with so much of the stuff that we see today in movies that has a deleterious effect on the development of people's character.
You know, and I like him because he I guess what society says that young people are today, they call them millennials. I don't really cater to that idea. He's a different millennial to me. Most people who are in entrepreneurial positions, who are in probably ministry positions, some are very overbearing about the ideology of what millennials ought to be doing and how can we reach millennials. He's not like that.
He's grounded.
He's very grounded. He has substance in him. He knows the Lord, and to hear him talk, he's really suggesting that he's where he is because of the Lord, because he's doing Christian filming, which is phenomenal.
We're excited about that.
I'm excited for him.
Thank you, and we'll look to see you next week on Real People, Real Voices.